Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video of Smart Grid. So in today's video we are going to see about an important subtopic of Smart Grid, which is nothing but distributed energy sources and microgrid. So in particular we are going to discuss in detail about one form of distributed energy source, which is nothing but solar cells. So we know that distributed energy source is a main topic in smart grid because we know that distributed energy sources and microgrid go hand in hand with each other, because wherever we need a distributed energy source, definitely we need a microgrid there, because we cannot use a common grid to all kind of renewable energy sources. A distributed energy source is nothing but a renewable energy form of sources. Why we need a microgrid for distributed energy sources? Because these distributed energy sources like solar, wind, and micro turbines, fuel cells, etc., have different type of power being generated. As output of a solar is DC, but the output of wind is AC. The output power generated from a fuel cell is DC, and same way for each different type of renewable sources, the output power from that will vary, and also the voltage levels, the level of power being generated will also vary, and they are not stable. We know that solar power cannot be uh, generated 24/7, and same as wind, and also wind. So these are highly unstable and fluctuating type of energy sources. So we cannot just like that connect these kind of power to a grid. So hence we are in need of a specially meant grid that can easily serve the purpose, and also it can easily transfer power to the customers, and also whenever required it can be taken to this main grid also. So such a kind of dedicated grid for a particular group of energy sources, or we can say it as renewable energy sources, are the microgrids. So microgrids are a localized grid which has all the features of a smart grid, which are specifically meant for power transfer from renewable energy sources to a localized group of customers. And also, whenever needed, the power which are surplus in a microgrid can be transferred to the main grid through interconnections. And when a fault occurs, or whenever it is not required, it can operate in an islanding mode. So that is the main feature of a microgrid. So a microgrid are specifically meant for renewable energy sources. So now in this video we are going to particularly see about one form of renewable energy source, or we can say it as the distributed energy sources, because these sources are not confined to one particular place. These renewable sources are being located at places where their main raw material or the source of power is available in abundant, because so that is why it is called as distributed energy sources. So here we are going to see about the main form of distributed energy sources, which is nothing but the solar cells. Now let's see what are solar cells. Solar cells are the device that converts sunlight into electricity. Many might have confused that solar cells converts the heat energy from the light into electricity. Of course, there are certain types of cells that does this purpose, but here the main purpose of a solar cells, or the main concept behind solar cells, are that they convert. So the main purpose of the solar cell is that it converts sunlight into electricity. There are different types of solar cells, which are crystalline silicon, thin film solar cells, organic solar cells, plastic solar cells, and many more. But these are the primary types that we are going to concentrate in this particular video, this and the upcoming videos, of course. The crystalline silicon are the conventional solar cells which that we are using in regular basis, and the thin film on organic and plastic solar cells are the latest technologies that the solar cell has been adapted. Next, why we need a solar cell? Because we know that solar cells, so we know that these solar cells are an important form of renewable energy sources, because the sun being the primary source of energy, it provides abundant heat and light to this mother earth. But that energy, if we utilize in a proper way, we can get enormous amount of electricity. So that initiative is the solar cells. So it is a renewable form of energy source, and it is being mainly adapted by every individual, because it is one of the major key to reduce global carbon emissions. In order to reduce our dependency on the fossil fuels, we are in drastic need of renewable energy sources, and that is why we are now seeing lot of solar cells everywhere. And these carbon emissions are the main issue for our ozone depletion, global warming and all. So in order to reduce those impacts, and in order to avoid the unwanted climate change, we need these kind of renewable energy sources. So now let's get into the types of solar cells. So as we discussed earlier, the conventional solar cells are the crystalline silicon type, and the emerging technologies are the organic, plastic and thin film solar cells. The main focus on these developments, these latest technologies are organic, plastic and thin film solar cells, because due to these latest technologies has been adapted by the solar technology in order to increase its power output efficiency and also increase its usage, and to make the solar technology more convenient, cheaper, cost effective and can be more adaptable. So now let's see about plastic and organic solar cells. What are plastic solar cells? They are made of conductive polymers and small molecules. They are very much lightweight, they are flexible and cheaper to manufacture. Unlike the conventional solar cells, which are not flexible and they cost more, and also the process of manufacturing are bit costlier, but these plastic solar cells are highly flexible. We can take it everywhere. They're very much compact, and also it can be fixed to any sort of structure, any sort of platforms. We can use these kind of plastic solar cells. We know that the conventional solar cells can be used on rooftops or on a flat surfaces, planes and all, but these plastic solar cells are highly flexible, so that they can be easily fit to even clothing, also even to windows. And wherever possible, wherever we can, wherever there is a possibility for converting this power sunlight into electricity, there we can use a solar plastic solar cells. Next we'll say about organic solar cells. So an organic solar cells are a subset of plastic solar cells, because it is, the structure is very, the manufacturing or the structure, or I can say it as the construction of those solar cells are similar, but the thing is that it has an in-between layer which is made of organic compounds, which are used for high light absorption and charge transportations. So that is why these organic solar cells are being preferred. So like I already told, these kind of solar cells are specially meant to increase the power output efficiency of the solar cells. And the main advantage of these organic solar cells are it is very cost effective, and it can be easily produced in large scale at a cheaper cost. And that is why these organic solar cells are being commercialized and being utilized in a wide range. So in today's video, in this particular video, we have discussed about what is a solar cell, what is its importance, and what are the different types of solar cells. We have seen a gist about those, and in that we have discussed about two types of solar cells. So in the next video, which is the continuation of this, we will look into the other types of solar cells in detail. So thank you, thanks for listening.